Hi, John. How are you this week?
Good, Elliot. How you doing?
I'm okay. So this week I noticed that the Department of Homeland Security updated a part of their website. It's related to reporting suspicious activity, and it's under the banner of "If you see something, say something," which I think is a phrase that they've been using for a number of years now in airports and other large venues to encourage people to identify abandoned backpacks and other things like that. I wondered if you saw those updates to the website.
Did and another great example of the value that government agencies can have in terms of outreach and communication, especially now when we're dealing with all sorts of challenges, including the obvious challenge of domestic terrorism and not knowing our neighbors perhaps as well as we should. So I think what struck me, we're very used to in our community of reporting suspicious activity. Obviously, that's sort of what everything is based on under the Bank Secrecy Act. But the number of things that they list as possible indicators of suspicious activity, and some that they said are not, religion and race, that sort of thing. But the ones that they said are, I thought it was not only a comprehensive list, but an interesting ability to. It's in an infographic. You can download it and make it available to your employees and your firm and that sort of thing. So there's a number of examples, and in our world, one is recruiting and financing, so just sort of funding activity or recruiting people to do that. But other things that I know if we talked through this long enough, we would say, oh yeah, that makes sense, and that's people that are surveilling locations longer than they should. Attempted breach of areas that are restricted. So not only a comprehensive list, but I think hopefully a very useful list to folks that are not in our world, but just need to be aware of what's going on around them.
Yes, I agree. I thought that list was very interesting. And again, coming back to what happens in our community, we encourage the same thing. We may not use the same phrasing, but for example, all of our customer-facing colleagues are encouraged to report through some internal mechanism. It varies from company to company. Anything that they see that's suspicious. We don't rely in our surveillance efforts for suspicious activity. It's not just transactional. Sometimes it appears in other ways. And we've talked about this on various webinars and other things, examples like in the elder abuse and human trafficking area, there are things that can happen that would be indications of people not acting independently and being coerced and things like that. I thought it was interesting that DHS is actively trying to get this mindset extended to everybody, and I think doing a very good job of it. So before we forget, if you go to dhs.gov/see something, say something, you'll get to the one of the pages, and then you can work around. And they're really talking about it as from a campaign perspective, encouraging companies and others, other nonprofits and schools and things like that to download the infographics and post them and talk about them. And these are good resources. But I think they're good resources even internally within the community because they kind of come at it, as you mentioned, from a slightly different angle.
Right. And if you go through the map of the U.S., they're not asking you to report this activity to Homeland Security. They're saying report it locally. And for example, I live here in Virginia, and if you click on the Virginia on the map, it says to contact the Virginia Fusion Center. And in our state, that's a coordination of federal, local, and private sector partners. And then they tell you how to report suspicious activity. And this won't be anything new to our community, but who did you see, what, when did you see it, where, and then, of course, why you believe it's suspicious, and they certainly give you enough information to make a determination of at least what boxes you're checking to say that something is you think could be suspicious, and leaving it to the experts to follow up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I live in Wisconsin, and I clicked on Wisconsin, and here, they say if it's an emergency, call 911. Otherwise, they give an 800 number or a toll-free number, but you're actually reaching the Wisconsin Statewide Intelligence Center. So again, one of these, not at the county level, but really a coordinated state level kind of thing. So yeah, I was very, I was very impressed with the quality of the materials, the thoughtfulness, and as again, as we said earlier, it was interesting to have a perspective that isn't strictly from the financial transaction perspective.
Yeah, and for those of our listeners that are sports fans, you'll recognize the bottom of some of the pages, some of the previous PSAs that they've done, and that's for Major League Baseball or at the NFL, the clips that you've seen at stadiums, the see something, say something statements that or pieces that have been going out for the past couple of years. So this is taking this all to a broader level. And as I said, the infographic is, I think, extremely useful as a training tool.
Yes, agreed. I'll do the shameless plug again this week. If you like this, and certainly join us every week on Friday, you can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have other things in the AML Conversations podcast series, and some other great materials in other formats on our website at amlrightsource.com. So, John, I will. You have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.
Thanks, Elliot. Stay safe. See ya.
Bye-bye.